Time for a soul-searching question. Is the Earth round or flat? You think I'm kidding, right? But if I asked you that question 500 years ago, would you be one of the guys saying, yes, it is flat? And if I asked you why, you say, well, everybody knows it's flat, so I think it's flat. I know it's flat. Or would you say, well, that's a funny question, you know, I actually don't know. Well, it's kind of a soul-searching question, isn't it? What kind of response would you have? Well, maybe right now, in this minute, when you were looking around in our quite scientific world, there might be things where you don't have a clue. And in 500 years from now, they'll look back at, say, well, back in 2000 and, well, the beginning of, 2020 and so, back in the days, they did not know very much about blah, blah. Yeah? It could be that. I'm very convinced it'll be like that. Do you know there is great money interests in keeping you stupid? It's always been like that. So, well, let's just go back to the flat period of the Earth where it was all flat. And if the seamen, one traveling in a big boat and all of a sudden discovering, wow, lots of spices and merchandise, they have sort of discovered a trade route and they were making a lot of money, but they wanted to keep it from themselves. So they would say to other people, oh, if you go to this point, the Yangtze car will come and grab you, and the Worcester car will take you from the other side and tear you apart. You will not be home to see your mama. So, you wouldn't go that way and you would not discover the trade route. It's called sort of like vested interests. If you keep people ignorant, they are far easier to control and cheat. Well, I love my car, but really I don't know so much about cars. I know the basics. A good car has to have a very nice sound, and preferably you should have a beautiful woman sitting next to you. But then I'm sort of like a bit, if it says a funny sound and go vroom, it gets hauled to the garage and the mechanic opens the hood and he notices the little wire which is not connected. I don't see that. But he will go, well, it looks like, there's definitely some work here with the Rusty Fusty. It can also be the Wap Dims, and then, I'll have a good look at it and I'll set some time aside to it and we'll get it working, maybe next Friday. Should be ready, yeah? And I go, yeah, okay. Well, that's a bit of a... And off I go, and then he takes this wire, stuff it in, not too good because he needs to have a returning customer, so he sort of like puts it in there and ticks off 3 hours on the worksheet and sits down, have a very long lunch break. Well, fact is, whenever there is a good profit possible, some people will go for it without being honest. Not completely honest anyway. The best painkiller pill produced from a financial viewpoint, a strictly financial point of view, would make the patient addicted. So when he tried to stop the medicine, he would actually feel bad, sort of withdrawal symptoms. Which remind me about another fact. Do you know that a lot of headaches are simply caused by the headache pills? You didn't know that, but it's just common medical fact. It's not something I'm making up. It's good business, but it's not very healthy. Money will make people want you not to know certain things. To sell something at the highest price and possibly too high. You have to make it look very complicated and something which requires great knowledge to produce something, you know, if you have to make a product very, when in fact it's just easily produced and not really costing anything and so on, then you get a big profit. And that's a good thing sometimes. But you want to keep that a secret, sort of like a business secret. Secret and mysteries are the opposite of knowledge. Say that. And let's speak about these deep subjects a little bit more. You know, all religions have their fall down when they don't like questions. When there are certain things you must not ask if you are a member of this or that religion. You're supposed to just take it, that's how it is, don't ask question. And you're told to believe without questioning. Whenever this happens, it's quite serious. All religions have their finest moments when they allow people to ask questions and get answers, even if the answer is, we don't know. Well, that's honest. This why question is very important. I used to be a horrible kid. I would ask the why question and I would not accept. It's like that because I say so. Sorry, that's not good enough. I think the most healthy thing at all about a human being is whether or not he is curious. Are you curious about life, about people around you? Well, you're in pretty good shape if you are curious. And another thing that knowledge shall set you free. Well, it's been the motto of all great civilizations ever. So the search for knowledge is the common denominator of a healthy society. And be very afraid. The ultimate sign of decay in a society is when they start burning books. It happened in Germany. It happened in China. And the consequences at those two times were, that was just unbelievably sad for the whole world. But it will happen again, and if it happens in your neighborhood, you better stand guard and protect them books, because that's really, really something to protect. Your access to knowledge. But knowledge is only worth something if it's yours. If you have taken this big book, like this big book, and you can recite it, in the book, and if I asked you what's that, you know, what can I use that for? You go, I don't know. You basically didn't understand it. You just recited it and just went like a parrot. That's completely waste of time. You can't use that for anything. It's better to just know one page and know that well and really be able to use that for something. Sometimes it's very important to select out the good information from the bad information, and then just kick that aside. So I'm going to give you some homework here. And if you don't do it, I'm going to call upon the sea monsters, and they will come and they will grab you in your sleep. You don't think I'll be able to do that? Well, think over what I need you to do, and then, well, you should just do it. It's a good exercise, and it's guaranteed free, and it will actually make you a lot smarter. You should set aside a few hours for this little exercise, and it's very easy. You sit down and you select the most non-important thing you ever learned in school, in your whole education. Just select that out, and you go, this one is completely stupid. Yeah, you put that down. And you find another one maybe not so irrelevant and stupid and unusable, and you go through your whole education, you just go, that's unusable, and you'll be a little bit surprised because it actually sorts out your stuff, and you might find out what is important, and that will make you a smart cookie. And that's what we like, smart cookies, right? And remember, it's absolute